1958, Hong Kong. Bruce Lee was still a teenager, but his street reputation had reached school. That day, the challenge wasn't about the ring, it was about the rooftop. The boys from the rival martial arts school arrived, and the fight went upstairs, where there was only concrete below and only ego above. Bruce tried to remain calm at first, but then an unfair punch landed, and Bruce's switch was turned on. In the next few moments, things moved so fast that no one could understand where the line was crossed. When the fight ended, Bruce not only won, he became the problem. Because the next scene wasn't on the rooftop, it was at the police station, where the complaint was filed, and Bruce's mother had to sign a paper. "I'm responsible." And that very night in Hong Kong, one thing became clear. Bruce Lee no longer just had to fight, he had to save the direction of his life. Hong Kong in 1958 was a city where speed wasn't just in traffic, it was also in ego. Here, respect wasn't about being famous, it was about how much fear you had in your eyes and how much control you had in your body. Bruce Lee was only in his teens, but something within him was already adult, his intensity. His name wasn't just being fast or talented on the school corridors. It was because he was a fast-acting person. And in Hong Kong, when you're fast-acting, you attract and invite. That day's challenge wasn't in the ring. That day's challenge wasn't about practice. That day's challenge was set in a place where there's no referee, a rooftop. The rooftops of Hong Kong, concrete below, air above, and just that line in between where your reputation seems more important than your safety. The rival school guys came. It wasn't like they came to say hello. Their style, their tone, their stance, everything was a message. Today we'll test you. When people are happy on the rooftop, their posture also speaks. There's a confidence in his eyes that only comes when you think the crowd is with you. But here, the crowd wasn't there to cheer, it was there to judge. Bruce didn't initially strike that dramatic movie pose. He was calm, but calm didn't mean soft. Calm meant he was watching, whose weight was forward, whose chin was loose, whose shoulder was tense. At that moment, there was speed in Bruce's body, but measurement in his eyes. The most dangerous part of a rooftop fight isn't the punches. The most dangerous part of a rooftop fight is overcommitment, because one wrong move can put you close to the edge. Bruce had this awareness in mind, but even awareness has a limit when the situation transforms from respect to insult. And then came the moment where the tone of the story shifts. Biographical accounts repeatedly mention a core detail of this fight. Mid-fight, a punch landed that didn't feel fair. Unfair didn't mean the punch was illegal. Unfair meant the punch broke the unspoken rules young fighters live by. And when unspoken rules are broken, teenage egos don't break. Bruce's switch was on. That switch doesn't just mean fast punches. That switch means I won't stop now. A few seconds passed on the rooftop, where timing and instinct overlapped one another. To those who were there, it didn't feel like training. It felt real. And when something feels real, it doesn't end in win. It ends in damage. One hard detail of this incident that is often mentioned is that the opponent suffered so much damage that one of his teeth was knocked out. Losing a tooth isn't just physical damage, it causes social alarm. Because bruises can be hidden, but a tooth can't. If a tooth goes missing, the family asks questions. Questions lead to authority. Authority leads to police. Coming down from the rooftop, Bruce might have thought, the fight's over. But in Hong Kong, a fight is over when adults decide it's over. The boy's parents got involved, a complaint was filed, and suddenly Bruce's story shifted from the street corner to the police station.
This is the moment when a teenager realizes that the world isn't impressed by your speed, it's decided by your consequences. A police station scene isn't cinematic because of the action. A police station is cinematic because of the silence. Desks, papers, adult faces, and that cold formality that turns your "I won" into "you're in trouble." Bruce's mother had to come there, and the heaviest part of this incident wasn't that Bruce got a lecture. The heaviest part was that the mother had to sign a document: release, responsibility, warning. When a mother signs, she doesn't just sign a paper, she signs her son's future. And from here, a new fear enters the house. What if something else happens next time? That night, the atmosphere at home changed. For Bruce, the rooftop fight may have been an adrenaline-fueled memory, but for the family, it was a risk report.
The family realized that Bruce wasn't just an energetic kid anymore. He was becoming a target, because in Hong Kong, when you win repeatedly, people don't congratulate you. They want to correct you. And when the people correcting you come from street culture, that correction sometimes becomes revenge. This was the problem during Bruce's teen years. His body was fast, but his environment was more dangerous than speed. School rivalries, neighborhood pride, and pressure from youth groups all combined to create a magnet for conflict. The more you avoid it, the more you invite it. The more calm you remain, the more you test it. This tension intensified after the rooftop incident, because now the system was also involved. And once the system gets involved, the family's patience drops to zero. And here, for the first time, the idea of America became serious, not as a dream, but as a solution. Bruce was born in San Francisco. It offered a practical solution to the family. Living in Hong Kong, Bruce's next step was unclear. Either he would get involved in more fights, or he would learn to control himself. But learning control requires space, and Hong Kong wasn't giving Bruce that space at the time. The rooftop fight made one message clear: your talent can save you, and it can trap you. Section 1 ends here. Damage on the rooftop, papers at the police station, and the beginning of a silent decision inside the house. Bruce now had to fight not just his opponents, but also his reputation. And when you fight your reputation, that fight is the most dangerous of all, because that fight follows you everywhere. As soon as he came down from the rooftop, Bruce might have felt that the scene was over. But in Hong Kong, a scene ends when the city itself decides that your name won't appear on any new lists. The cold air of the police station, the scratchy sound of paper, and the look on adult faces, all of this wasn't new to Bruce. But the difference this time was that this incident wasn't a small one. After the rooftop fight, a complaint had been filed, and his mother's signature wasn't just a formality, it was a warning. Now the next incident could become not just a fight, but a case. That's why the air in the house was heavier than before. Bruce's anger normally vented itself on the streets, but now it began to seep into the house, because the family wasn't just looking at bruises, they were looking at the future threat. Bruce was 13, but the streets of Hong Kong don't recognize 13. Streets age you by your actions. After the rooftop incident, Bruce's name started to spread even more. To some, he was a fast fighter. To others, he was a problem kid. And in Hong Kong, the most dangerous label is problem, because people choose violence to solve problems. Bruce's name became known among rival schools, and when a name becomes known among rival schools, random guys come to test you. Test doesn't mean spar. Test means we're going to push you and see how much control you have. Inside the house, adult conversations slowed. When adults speak slowly, it means they're careful. Careful not because Bruce will hear, careful because the city will hear. Rumors travel fast in Hong Kong, and the problem with rumors for Bruce was that they were fight rumors. Fight rumors tend to be exaggerated, but exaggeration is also dangerous because it makes you a bigger target. The rooftop fight had already become a public topic of discussion. Whenever a tooth detail comes out, it makes the story serious because a missing tooth means angry parents, and anger means a complaint, and a complaint means the police. Bruce's mother signed, but after signing, one thing stuck in her mind: this city will eat my son. Bruce's father was from an actor background. The family was respectable, but respect doesn't immunize you from street challenges in Hong Kong.
Bruce's swagger was a natural product of teenage years, confidence, speed, and that habit of not backing down. But when confidence translates into fights, a circle is formed around confidence. One circle of supporters, one circle of challengers. Supporters don't clap. Supporters only make your victory a rumor. Challengers make your victory an insult. Bruce was sandwiched between both circles, and then the line within the family became serious about what had previously been just an idea: America. Bruce was born in San Francisco, and this fact gave the family a distance. America wasn't some glamorous escape, it was a reset button. After the rooftop fight, his mother suggested that Bruce be sent to the U.S. because at 18 he could claim his U.S. citizenship. This suggestion was a decision about safety before career, because if Bruce stayed here, next time might not be a rooftop, but a street corner. Next time might not be a tooth, but a knife. Next time might not be a complaint, but a retaliation. Youth fights in Hong Kong sometimes tend to escalate, and the family didn't want to risk escalation.
The first time Bruce was told, "You're leaving," two things crashed inside him. First, ego, which says, "I belong here, I win here." Second, reality, which says, "After a win, there's a police station." Bruce's brain was a teen brain, operating on adrenaline and pride. But the stamp at the police station awakened the adult brain. That stamp gave Bruce a forced pause. I may be winning fights, but I'm losing my direction. With the decision of the family, Bruce's street life became more tense, because when people come to know that you are going, some people want to test you for the last time. Some people want to settle for the last time. Some want to prove something before you disappear. This phase was mentally heavy for Bruce, because on one hand he wanted to protect his reputation, on the other hand the family members were asking him to remain calm. Staying calm felt like a weakness for Bruce at that time, but staying calm was survival. Teenagers understand the concept of survival late because teenagers feel that life is endless. Police paperwork tells the teen that life isn't endless, life is fragile. When departure day arrived, the city of Hong Kong was the same: streets, noise, speed, but a new silence had settled within Bruce. At the airport, the family's eyes held both relief and fear. Relief because you were escaping danger, fear because you were entering the unknown. In Bruce's case, the unknown wasn't just America, the unknown was his identity. In Hong Kong, he was a fighter kid. In America, he was about to become a nobody. This transformation is the most painful. When you're not famous, you're not familiar either. Sitting on the plane seat, Bruce looked out the window at Hong Kong below. Rooftops, narrow buildings, and the city that was testing him. At that moment, Bruce might have felt that he was running away from fights, but the truth was that he was running away from family fights. Bruce's mother and father's decision was not cowardice, it was strategy. The strategy was that if you change the environment, you can change your habits. Hong Kong gave Bruce aggression. America might give Bruce discipline. Section 2 ends here, a one-way ticket moment, where Bruce is physically leaving Hong Kong, but mentally Hong Kong is still inside him. The adrenaline of a rooftop fight, the police station stamp, and the weight of reputation. All of this was packed not in his luggage, but in his chest. Now, in the next section, we'll see how that baggage shaped Bruce in America. Did he remain the same street fighter, or did he transform his aggression into a system, a philosophy, a rule book, so that next time, after a fight, it's proof of discipline, not a police station paper? Upon arriving in America, Bruce Lee didn't just change his city, he tried to change the rule book of his life. The streets of Hong Kong were noisy. The streets of America were noisy too, but the difference was that here, noise wasn't about your reputation. Here, your name didn't excite the boys from a rival school. Here, you were the new kid, and a new kid's biggest enemy wasn't their opponent. A new kid's biggest enemy was their own past. Bruce might have felt physically lighter after getting off the plane, but the stamp of the rooftop fight was still etched within him. The tooth scene, the police station paper, his mother's signature,
All of these things don't get erased from memory like in movies. This memory quietly pushes your decisions. As Bruce began to establish his life in the Seattle area, there was a strange tension within him. In Hong Kong, his energy was reaction. Someone pushes, you push back. In America, there was less pushback, but Bruce's reaction engine was still ready. This is the phase where a person either repeats their past or refines it. Refining was natural for Bruce, because Bruce was not just a fighter, he was also an observer. Hong Kong had shown him that an uncontrolled fight could land you in the police station. America gave him the space to transform the fight from an incident to a system. The most important thing in this phase was this: Bruce was now moving away from fights, but fights weren't moving away from him. When you come to a new place and your body becomes confident, people test you. America doesn't have the brutal street culture of Hong Kong, but the ego is the same everywhere. Bruce's posture, his eyes, his calmness, all this made people curious. Curiosity sometimes becomes a challenge. Bruce was realizing that if he continued in the same old reaction mode, he would create the same old problems in this new world. This is where Bruce's internal shift begins, not to win the fight, but to avoid the fight, and if it is unavoidable, then to control the fight. The Hong Kong rooftop incident was proof for him that ego explosion gets you into trouble. So Bruce developed a new obsession within himself: control under pressure.
Slow, you get hit. If the decision is made with ego, you get trapped. Bruce didn't just keep his training physical, he made it mental. In Hong Kong, his fights were spontaneous. In America, he began to transform spontaneity into discipline. When you develop discipline, you protect your life's future. Discipline doesn't mean you can't fight. Discipline means you choose the fight. The fight doesn't choose you. This mindset shift was priceless for Bruce, because in Hong Kong, the fight chose him. Rivalry, school pride, street tests. In America, Bruce decided that he would no longer base his identity on street rules. Another big difference in America was that Bruce had to build his reputation from scratch. In Hong Kong, the reputation was already built, both good and bad. In America, Bruce got the chance for the first time to see him as a teacher, not a trouble kid. And this role shift was also healing for Bruce. When you become a teacher, you learn to manage your anger, because a teacher's anger destroys students. Bruce had to show control in training spaces, not wild energy like on a rooftop. But the past was still a shadow. Sometimes when Bruce practiced, he remembered that rooftop moment. Unfair punch, switch on, tooth out. The lesson of that memory was clear. At the peak of anger, you cross your boundaries. So Bruce added boundaries to his training: breathing, footwork, distance. Distance was not just a physical tool for Bruce. Distance became an emotional tool. Distance meant, I don't let your insult penetrate me. In Hong Kong, an insult would instantly turn into a fight. In America, Bruce learned to observe insults. The cinematic part of this section is this: Bruce's street fighter phase actually fueled his philosopher fighter phase. If there hadn't been a rooftop fight in Hong Kong or a stampede at the police station, Bruce might not have realized so quickly that the most dangerous enemy in a fight isn't the opponent, it's the ego. Ego forces you to prove yourself. Prove makes you predictable. Predictability gets you into trouble. Bruce started training with his ego for the first time in America, not just with opponents. Imagine this: teenage Bruce, who never ignored a challenge before, is now challenging himself. How long can I stay calm? How long can I absorb an insult? How much speed can I generate while keeping my body relaxed? These questions aren't asked by normal fighters. These questions are asked by someone who has seen reality at the police station desk. Section 3 ends here. Bruce didn't repeat his past in America. He redesigned it. Hong Kong gave him raw fire.
America gave him the opportunity to turn that fire into a torch. But the story's biggest test was yet to come, because real transformation is proven when someone pushes you again, when your ego is triggered again. Now, in the next section, we'll see how Bruce locked the chaos of his 13 years into an enduring philosophy, and how his life's lesson became simple. A fight isn't just about punches. A fight is about controlling your reactions. And this control made Bruce Lee not just a fighter, but a legend. Bruce Lee's real transformation begins when you realize that it's easy to change your environment, but not your own reaction. Changing was the hardest part. Hong Kong was gone, the rooftops were gone, the police station desk was gone, but the switch that always flickered quickly inside Bruce was still there. The only difference was that Bruce wasn't denying it, he was studying it. Because when you study your weakness, it becomes a weapon. Bruce stopped treating fights in America as incidents and started treating them as a system. His training no longer consisted of just punches and kicks, it included rules. Rules meant discipline. Discipline didn't mean killing your aggression. Discipline meant steering your aggression. Bruce's aggression in Hong Kong was unsteered. The rooftop incident had shown him that unsteered speed gets you into a crash. A tooth out was a warning. Police paperwork was a warning. Mother's sign was a warning. These warnings didn't become embarrassments for Bruce. These warnings became a blueprint for Bruce. And the most important part of the blueprint was removing ego from sparring. Bruce tried to remove one concept from his life: prove. In Hong Kong, it was all about proving. You prove you're not weak. You prove you won't back down. You prove your name is heavy. In America, Bruce realized that the addiction to proving doesn't allow you to live peacefully. You're always answering to someone or the other. Bruce decided that his answer now wouldn't be punches, it would be principles. Here's what hooks the audience. Bruce Lee's later philosophy, be water type lines, weren't just poetic, they were survival lessons. Rooftop fighting taught him that when you're rigid, you break. When you're flexible, you survive. Rigidity comes from ego. Flexibility comes from awareness.
In the last minute, the Thai fighter used his final mind move. He broke the clinch and stepped back, completely relaxed, as if saying, "Come on, show me now." This invitation is dangerous because once you show off, you become predictable. Bruce didn't show off. Bruce made his smartest move here. One clean moment, a moment that shows not with power, but with timing and without disrespect. The Thai fighter made another entry, a transition moment. Bruce delivered a crisp stop touch on that transition, not a full punch, just timing, and changed the angle with the touch. No chase, no brag, reset. The mood of the gym shifted at that moment. No one clapped, but the texture of the silence changed. Now the silence wasn't one of judgment, but one of recognition. The Thai fighter looked at Bruce for a second, then softened his eyes, the first time. The trainer gave just a small nod from outside the ring, as if to say, "That's it." The Thai fighter attempted a clinch again, but this time it wasn't aggressive, measured. Bruce kept his frame, hips angled, breath steady. The exchange was short. The trainer gave a stop signal. Last round end. Both stepped back, gloves down. No one spoke for a few seconds. Then the Thai fighter gave a small Y, respect. Bruce responded, sincerely. The trainer finally gave words, but very few. No winner. The Thai fighter added a line that keeps the story alive. People will talk. Bruce replied calmly, "Let them whisper." And that answer seals the soul of the title. In Bangkok, loud stories become ego. Whisper stories become culture. Bruce didn't strike a hero pose outside the ring. His thigh was in pain, but his mind was clear. The Thai fighter didn't claim victory. The trainer didn't explain to anyone what happened, because whatever happened was private as a matter of law. And when things are private, they become legends. People argue even decades later, did Bruce win or not? Did the TIE fighter win or not? In fact, this question itself is wrong. There was no winner that night. But the lesson was a big one. An unfamiliar culture doesn't defeat you, your ego does. Bruce left his ego behind, so he left Bangkok not a win, but a learn. And that's why even today in Bangkok, people don't tell this story out loud, only in whispers.